Hello and welcome to Boardgame Knizia. Today we show you how to play Rebirth. After a series of disasters, society on the Green Isles of Britain and Ireland was devastated. Scotland and Ireland lie in ruins and the clans have taken it upon themselves to rebuild their lands. You gain points by restoring food farms, harvesting energy, rebuilding settlements, taking control of castles, opening ports and gaining influence in the cathedrals. The player with the most points after all tiles are drawn wins the game. Rebirth is for 2 to 4 players, takes about an hour to play and is for clansmen of 10 years and older. Place the map in the middle of the table. For this video we start with Scotland. We will show the differences with Ireland at the end of the video. Shuffle the mission cards and place them on the board. Each player chooses a color, puts the scoring marker on 0 and gathers the 14 castles, 8 cathedrals and 36 tiles. Place them next to your clan board in front of you. You have energy farms, food farms and settlements valued 1, 2, 3 and 4. If you play with 4 players, each player must return these tiles to the box. The setup is a little different if you play with 2 players. Take one of the unused clans and cover the spaces with the yellow hex icon with face down tiles. Shuffle your tiles face down and draw 2 tiles that you will not be using this game. Look at them privately and place them on your board face down. Draw 1 more tile in your hand. Determine who will be the starting player and you are ready to begin. On your turn, place the tile from your hand on the map, score the tile and take a tile from your supply in your hand. Then it's the next player's turn, in clockwise order. Where you can place your tile is determined by the symbol on the tile. Food farms can be placed on a food symbol or on a blank space with no icon. The same goes for energy farms. Settlements can only be occupied by tiles with houses on them. The number of houses represent the amount of influence you add to the settlement. This will be important in the next step when you score the tiles. A settlement will be scored when all the spaces that make up that settlement are occupied. In a settlement that consists of 1 tile, you will earn the number of points equal to the number of houses on your tile. With settlements of 2 or 3 spaces, look at the amount of influence which is counted by the number of houses for each player. With 2 spaces, the player with the most influence gets 5 points and the second player 3 points. If the influence is equal, the player who completed the settlement gets the lower points. A settlement of 3 spaces yields 8 points to the winner, 5 points to the number 2 and 0 points to the last player. If you have multiple tiles in a settlement, you add up the values. The player who places the last tile loses a tie. If a player manages to occupy all spaces of a settlement, they get all the points. So for a settlement of 3 spaces, you get 11 points. The port space of a settlement scores a point immediately when you place your tile there. When scoring food and energy farms, you profit from clusters of tiles in your color. The first tile gives you 1 point, but if the tile is the 3rd tile in your food or energy cluster, it scores 3 points, and so on. There are also castle spaces on the board. You gain control over a castle when you occupy the most spaces around it. So if you place a tile next to this castle, you gain control, since you occupied the only space next to this castle. Place a castle in your color on the space in the middle. You lose control over the castle if another player occupies more spaces next to the castle. If you are the first player to occupy 3 spaces, the castle cannot be stolen from you anymore. Cathedrals bring extra spice to the game. When you place a tile adjacent to a cathedral space, add one of your cathedrals to the stack of cathedrals there. You can add only 1 cathedral of your color to each space. When you place a cathedral, draw the top card of the mission deck. Keep it private from the other players. These are missions that you score at the end of the game. For this mission, you get an extra 5 points if you occupy the most ports at the end of the game. Since there are only 8 cathedral spaces, you can get a maximum of 8 missions. After you have placed your tile and scored it, you draw a new tile, and it's the next player's turn. When all players have placed all their own tiles on the board, the game ends. There are some points to be given out for the final scoring. For each incomplete settlement, you get points matching the influence that is visible on your tiles. Here you get 5 points. For each castle on the map in your color, you get 5 points. Finally, score your mission cards. The player with the highest points total wins Scotland. Ireland plays like Scotland, but with a few exceptions. Ireland is a bit more tactical. You use the island board and mission cards. Shuffle the mission cards and create a face-up row of 8 cards. These are public missions. The rest goes on the board. Shuffle the round tower bonus tiles and place one face down on each of the towers. Then reveal them all. Place 4 of your own tiles on your board. You can look at them once drawn, but have to shuffle them afterwards on your board. Also, place the ×2 marker on your board. Placing tiles and scoring tiles is the same as in Scotland, but when you have scored a tile, you also check if you have fulfilled one of the public missions. If you have, you place one of your cathedrals next to it. If you are the first to complete that mission, you score this number of points. The others can only score this number of points when they complete the mission. You can score each mission only once. So the cathedrals are not put on the map. When you place a tile for the first time next to a round tower, you may be eligible to activate the bonus. For instance, when you have a tile next to 3 round tower tiles with a 13 on it, you score 13 points immediately. Or when you activate this tower bonus, you take one of the face down tiles on your board and place it immediately on the board, following all the rules. The player with the most points when all the tiles are placed wins the game. These are the rules for Rebirth. We hope you enjoy the game, and please consider subscribing to our channel for more content. Thank you for watching, and see you for the next one. Bye!